Hey, what's up guys? It's Caleb with Inspired Life, and in this video, I just want to give you an update on what I've been up to and the journey that I've been on over the last few years to figure out what I actually want to do with my life and what that process has kind of been looking like and where I'm at now and why it's presenting a lot of challenges and awesome things to be up against. So quick little mini update. We got back from driving from San Diego to Austin over 3 days on last Wednesday night. And we just did it in 3 days, driving 7 to 8 hours plus a day. We had one scare, man. So get this, Melody's driving and I'm trying to take a nap, and we're in the middle of the desert in Arizona. And she says, there's a gas station coming up. Do you think I should get gas? We're like, it's looking a little low. And I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, oh yeah, you could, if you want, you could just go to the next spot. 15 minutes go by and I like kind of wake up a little bit and I have this bad feeling, like this intuitive feeling. And I look over at how many miles it says we have left, because we were just driving, there's nothing, and it's over 100 degrees. We're in the middle of the desert in Arizona. And I look over and it says we have 27 miles left in this tank of gas. Then I pull up my phone and I put in how far to the nearest gas station. 44 miles and a 45-minute drive. And I'm like, Melody, pull over right now. Pull over. We're going down this 2-lane freeway. She's like, okay. And she pulls over. And I'm like, okay, what can we do? I just do not want to get stuck in the desert and have to wait in the heat for AAA rather. So I'm like, oh, I think we can turn around and go back. So I run across the freeway and check the median, because it's like this big 30-foot median that in a lot of areas is just huge dips that our car wouldn't be able to go over. But luckily I found a path through the middle of the freeway. I'm like, all right, we're doing this. So I get in the driver's seat, look over, make sure there's no cars coming in this 2-lane freeway, pull it around and drive through the dirt. And then I see we can get to a gas station that's 15 miles back the way we came. So that added a little bit to the trip. There were some other highlights. We stayed in Marfa, Texas, and got amazing photos. It's this awesome hippie little town in the middle of nowhere. We also saw the Marfa lights. If you haven't heard of those, they're called ghost lights. They've been recorded in history since 1850. And I'm like, oh, are we really gonna see these? I'd heard about them, I looked them up, and UT students had done research projects on it and don't know what the lights are. And I'm like, okay, let's go check this out. So Melody and I had dinner, and then we drove out, and we got to the viewing station 10 miles away from Marfa, and there's no one there. And Melody's like, I don't want us to get jumped. It's like, okay, now you're giving me the chills. So we ignore it. It's the most beautiful stars that we've seen in years. I mean, if you're in the city and you don't get out too much, you don't know what you're missing. I mean, the stars were incredible. So we're enjoying the stars, and we go out to the viewing point, we look out, and I don't really see anything. We wait like 5 minutes. We kind of just look at different constellations. And then all of a sudden, poof, there's this bright light off in the distance. That's definitely not a car or a plane or anything. And it kind of like hovers a little bit, goes to the side a little bit, and then another one, boop. And they kind of like go together a little bit back and forth, and they disappear. And then 3 of them pop up, boop. And they're kind of like different colors too. And then a 4th one pops up, and they're all kind of just hovering, and they'll disappear fully, reappear. They're not going anywhere. They go back and forth. Boop. Yeah. So definitely aliens, that's my conclusion. I don't know, it could be some sort of physics thing, but it was definitely strange and fun. And then we had amazing breakfast burritos the next morning at Marfa Burrito, where Matthew McConaughey and the late Anthony Bourdain all had photos up on the wall of trying these burritos. So it was a great trip. And now we're back. And when I got back, I was so overwhelmed. My laptop broke for some reason, my MacBook Pro. I've already taken it to the shop once. I'm gonna take it in again. I don't know what's going on. It's only 4 years old. It should be working fine. It's just it's just completely unresponsive. I can't get it to do anything. And so I took it to the shop, they fixed it, and then one day later, it's stuck again. So I'm gonna take it back in tomorrow. So anyways, I get back from this 3 days of driving, and everybody idealizes the work from anywhere lifestyle, and I can do that. I can work from anywhere. And the thing is it's very underrated how important your own bed and your own routines are, and having healthy food and having your own space. Because we were living in a little beach shack right on the ocean, which seems so nice. Melody and I have been talking about doing this for years. We finally went out and did it, but it was really hard to eat right, sleep right, and work to my fullest capacity from there, even though we were there for a nice long month. So I fell behind in work, and then I had to drive 3 days across the US, and then that's not really time that I'm like having fun necessarily or recharging, and it's not time that I'm working. So then I get back Wednesday night and I'm like completely exhausted. I wake up, my laptop's not working. Meanwhile, I've made huge progress on figuring out what I want to do with my life and like what my inspired life is. I've been clarifying it because I've always had tons of ideas floating around, but to manifest them and to make them actually happen, I need to clarify them and put in a strategic plan in place that I can work towards every single day and every single week. And so that's been coming through, and it's been filling me with all this excitement and this joy and this energy. And it's a lot of things that I want to do. And meanwhile, my experience is like driving my family across the US and having no time and being so behind, having over 100 important client emails in my inbox that are just waiting on me. My team's doing a good job. Like they're holding it down. But I'm behind, you know? And then my laptops are broken and I'm exhausted. And I've been eating just total garbage food and not sleeping well. So I finally get home, I catch up, and I just start working. And I just work Thursday and Friday as much as I can in between the laptop issues. And then it's the weekend, Labor Day weekend. And so the first day I just did nothing on Saturday. I even had a dream that night that it was a 3-day weekend and I was going to sleep in the dream on the last day of the 3-day weekend. And I'm like, no. I need the weekend so bad. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, it's Saturday morning. So that was funny. Yeah, so then Sunday, I cleaned up the whole house, unpacked, fixed things up as best as I could, and got all my mail processed from the last month, and just got the house in order. And then today was Monday, and perfect time. I know it's Labor Day, but most of my team took the day off. But for me, this was my time to catch up so that tomorrow wouldn't be hell. And so I caught up on all my emails today, got that beautiful inbox zero, and had a great call with my mindset coach. And then boom, my laptop breaks again. So I will be taking that in first thing in the morning, and it's frustrating and it's challenging. And I've got more clarity than ever before, and I've been really contemplating a lot on what Jordan Peterson says, is that everybody has to sacrifice, but the cool thing is you get to pick what you sacrifice. And so now I'm clear on all these things that I want to create, these businesses, this YouTube channel, these opportunities, and these things the way that I want to be myself in this life, and how I need to change and grow and mold so that I can show up the way that I want to be. All these things that I want, I need to pick what I'm going to sacrifice. And so I did a lot of meditation on that, and what I came up with in some of my journaling is I'm going to sacrifice dopamine addiction. I need to sacrifice everything in me that just seeks stimulation, chaos, and whether that's sugar and food or drinking or video games, all of these things that I impulsively desire, including like exciting events. Like Melody pointed out right away, you know, one day I'm telling her how exhausted I am from this trip, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, this concert is coming up, and there's this social event, and let's have these people over, and let's go do this project and this thing. And that's a pattern I've always had, and I'm ready to change and grow, because these are some patterns that I need to sacrifice and let go so that I can create and have what I actually want. And that's why it's so critical to put in that time and that soul searching, that meditation, to clarify what you want. And it takes time. And I've sat down to do this so many times in my life, and I always think like, okay, I'm gonna write it all out, and then boom, that's it. There's my inspired life. There's my purpose, why I'm here on this planet, everything I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write it down in this hour or on this weekend retreat, even giving it lots of time. But what I'm finding is it doesn't really work like that. It's such an iterative thing, and it kind of does take hours and hours and hours and hours of intentional thought and practice. It's kind of a balance of coming up with something, seeing something that inspires you, and thinking, I'd love to wake up every day doing that. And then try doing that and see what happens and test it out. And then you'll get more information. It's like this dance with reality, this dance with the universe of testing things and seeing what actually resonates with you, because you don't know right now in the fullness what you actually want to do. And I don't know that for myself, but I have done a lot of work on this, and now I've got a lot of clarity. So maybe in some future videos, I'll talk a little bit more about the exact things that I want to create. But I also see the value in just doing the work and showing you what I create as I do it, rather than talking a whole bunch, because it could change. But I'm at the place where I don't want things to change anymore, because if I'm always changing things, then, you know, if I'm putting energy in all these directions, then that means I'm actually not making any real progress in one direction. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it these days. And I'm ready to get some traction. I'm ready to get some results. I'm starting to get impatient with just coming up with great ideas and seeing opportunities. And as there are so many opportunities out there, to actually get one and develop it and push past the places where I've given up or said it's too hard or gotten distracted by something else, I'm ready to stop doing those patterns and get after it. So I'll get to share this journey with you and with myself. This is like my documentation of this, and kind of like my digital journal, so to speak. But bottom line is, lots of fun things are ahead. I made it to the gym today. I did my meditations. I did some breath work today. It felt hard, but really good, and it was just gonna get easier, just get 1% better each day. The thing that I keep thinking about is I'm responsible for my attention, my energy, my time, and my resources. That's all that I have control over, is where I put my attention, how I use my time, my own energy, what I do with it, and my resources, my finances, etc. So it's time to take those 4 things and put them towards my goals. So anyways, stay inspired, keep putting in that work to figure out what lights you up and what would allow you to wake up every day with this sense of, yeah, I just am so stoked to wake up today and get to it. So that's what I'm working on cultivating, and be patient with it. Have an awesome day. Hopefully you enjoyed this little video. Bye. Like and subscribe.